Hey friends, are you ready? Hi. All right, I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit. That's a little too much. Always. Why? Because I started stream? Always because I started stream. Alright, give me a minute. I know. Trying to get audio levels right, bruh. Hey! Hey! Do you want to go outside? Or do you want to stay here? Okay. We make choices. We make our choices. Alright. Let me just check the audio on my phone. I want to make sure that the music's not too loud. And then we're going to go into doing some Reiki, and then we're going to jump into some readings. That's the sketch. The agenda. I want to make sure that the music's not too loud. Sounds fine. We're going to go into doing some Reiki, and then we're going to jump into some readings. That's okay. The sketch. That's going to be weird on the recording. Oh well. Anyway. Hi, I'm Chelsea. I'm better known as Tragic Glamour on most platforms. And this is my second stream. I've spent a lot of time preparing for these. And the amount of nerves that I have doing this, I think it's just because it's the first week and I've never done this before, that I'm like, my tummy's all messed up and everything, but it'll be good. So I am a Reiki practitioner. Today we're going to do a little bit of Reiki to start off the stream. Center ourselves, get to a good state, and then we're going to jump into some readings. I have a bunch of different types of cards here to play with, and we'll work on our healing together. That's the point, right? I mean, that's the point of this stream. At least Thursdays is dedicated to healing. So, okay. Are you guys good? You good? You ready? Okay. That's Little. The other one who was barking is Chewy. The babes. So we're going to start with doing a little bit of, let's light a candle. Let's get some smoke cleanse going. This one smells good. Alright, if you're going to keep doing that, you're going to get kicked out because you're going to mess up my Reiki and my chill vibes. Alright. Alright. You're getting kicked out then. No. You can't bark during streams. Out. Don't worry, he will be clawing at the door within minutes, I'm sure. I'm doing pretty well. I'm very nervous with streaming, but I think it's just because it's new to me. I think after this first week I'll start to feel better about it, but I've had a funny tummy about it all day. Hi, how are you? We're starting with Reiki today. Let's adjust the camera a little bit. We're gonna have a nice chill stream. We're gonna do some Reiki to start off with, and then we're gonna do some tarot readings after that. I'm gonna cleanse some of this energy. Okay. So, if you don't consent to the Reiki, feel free to come back in about 10 to 15 minutes when we'll start the tarot reading. Reiki is essentially energy healing, and it's using your energy. Like if I do Reiki on someone, whether it's distance or in person, it is energy healing that is using your energy to heal itself. So instead of like where when I first got into it, I was like, oh, is it like my energy that's healing them? And it's like, no, it's their energy, and you're kind of just directing it and telling it where to go. So it's helping you unstick certain chakras that might be closed or not as open as they should be. And yeah, so today we're going to do a little bit of that to start off with. It's very chill. I'm going to be chanting the Reiki, I forget what they're called now, to get started, to open up to this Reiki practice, and then we will move after Reiki from that to tarot reading. I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do a good job. Anyway, it's not something you will always feel, but if you do, let me know. I know that for me, what I need to do, or what I do when I'm nervous, you can tell. What I do when I'm receiving Reiki from a distance is I try to just lay down and relax and listen to what's happening, whether it's the music or the person, and see where in my body is reacting. And a lot of times, since I've connected a lot of my stuff to chakras, I will feel it in specific chakras. Not everyone might be as connected to their chakras, so you might just feel it in a certain area, and it can manifest in many different ways, whether it's like a tingling feeling or like a warm feeling. So that's the overview, and I'll just go into that now. Take a deep breath in and out. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Seaki, seaki, seaki. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Hanza Shishonen, Hanza Shishonen, Hanza Shishonen. Chokure, chokure, chokure. some stones here that represent each chakra. I'm going to hover over each one and see collectively where there might be some blockages today. The root chakra feels a little bit, the solar plexus is a little bit on fire, which is interesting. It's a little overstimulated. Ooh, and the throat chakra is a little closed. Yeah. So we'll go up and down each chakra, and let me just show you my hands. Just going up and down each chakra. I'm starting at the root. Take a deep breath. And out. Take another deep breath. And out. Release all that tension. All that stuck energy. Onto your heart chakra now. a bit of resistance around the throat chakra. The throat chakra is your ability to communicate and portray yourself into the world. You are free to be yourself, and you are free to put yourself out there as you want to be. You don't have to be what anyone else tells you to be. You make your own rules, you make your own life. Take a deep breath and let out. Move on to the third eye, your connection to your intuition. The more you trust your intuition, the more you will see it amplified within you. That gut feeling. Your connection to Source, whether it's God or whatever you call it, your connection to the divine, your higher self. When your chakras are aligned, you are able to flow and live in that flow and feel as if things are moving smoothly. And life always has its challenges, but as you align your chakras, it helps to take it all in stride, to move with the ebb and flow of life. Your root chakra down here is your base. It's at the base of your spine, and it's the foundation. It's the first 5 years of life. It's your childhood. And it's the way that you view things around you. It's the baseline of how you view things. Now as we go up, we hit the sacral. That's in your lower abdomen or your uterus area, depending on how your body is made. And that area is very strong in creative energy, in sexual energy, and it helps fuel your passion. That's also where we store a lot of father wounds. As you move up there to right about here in your sternum is your solar plexus. And that is your personal power center. It is where your self-esteem comes from, your confidence. And it's where you connect to your power. And then as you move up to the heart chakra here, because we went through these, but the heart chakra is your ability to give and receive love, which is something that can be easily blocked by bad relationships and traumatic situations. And as we open our heart chakra up, we open it up to not only being able to give our love again, but being able to receive it as well, which is important for all of us. And like I said, the throat chakra is your communication, your ability to communicate yourself and to put yourself, to portray yourself into the world. And then your third eye is your connection to intuition, and your crown is your connection to source. Now take all of these. They are all aligned in you. All the blockages are being removed. We're going to pluck them away just a little. I feel a little bit of extra bits. I think we need a little bit of a cleanse in some of these areas. We've got the energy to flow. It's moving. We lost our music, but that's okay because we don't need it right now. We are stuck in this gorgeous moment, and we are, that opened it right up. We are aligned in this moment. I want you to imagine that at the base of your spine, there are roots coming out, digging deep into the soil of the earth, grounding you in this moment. And as that grounding happens, and you can feel yourself in the soil, planted firmly, a light shines out from you up towards the heavens because you are a beacon of light. I made a visual representation of this in my affirmation deck, and it's right here. And it says, I release toxic energy now. It has no place here. We are ready to release anything we don't need. We'll take another deep breath in and out. Now stretch a little bit. Get any excess energy that might be stuck to release. A little bit of stretch. And we're good to go. Thank you so much. Thank you. As we move from a nice Reiki meditation, we're going to start setting up for tarot. So if you have any questions today that you want to ask, Thank you. If you have any questions today that you want to ask, feel free to do so. What I usually do, and since we are going to start off with not a lot of people in the chat, eventually when we get more people, this will be a little bit more hectic probably. But as we have less people, if you are interested in a reading, I'll give you a full reading. All I need is your full birthday. And with that, I'm going to come up with this is just how I do readings. This is totally a me thing. I haven't met anyone else who does it this way. As I have your birthday, I'm going to get or if you already know it, your life path number in numerology. Because when I started doing readings, I noticed that, yes, okay, I already got one. I noticed that I instinctively always pulled 5 cards. And as I continued to learn about various things, including numerology, I learned that my life path number was 5. So obviously I was like, well, that's fantastic. I'm now going to use that and pull the amount of cards that is your life path number when I pull cards. So that's how I do it now. So I'm going to, and if you've never looked into numerology, it is a really interesting, I'm going to start with Miss Spooky over here, Miss Spooky. And if you have a question, be sure to let me know in there, or if it's just general and you want to see what it comes up with, your choice. Also, since we don't have a lot of people, I'll let you pick the deck that I pick from as well. Is it really one? General would be good. Okay. I'm like, so the way you break down, the light is so bright you can't read paper. The way you break down numerology is you have the month, the day, and the year. You add the month together, you add the day together, you add the year together, and then you break those down. So like if it's 12, it's 1 plus 2, so that's 3. And it looks like it's 10, and then that you take away the 0, and then it would be 1. I'm gonna trust that, but I might still pull other cards because I'm like that. I'm gonna start and pull a card for you from my Healing Energy Affirmation deck that I created last year, or it was like late 2020. So let me pull you one of those. And we got I Trust Myself. So yeah, I don't run into a lot of people that have a life path number of 1. Definitely recommend, I don't remember exactly what they all mean when it comes to life path numbers, because the numbers correspond to very many different things. So check that out because it's really cool. There's lots of websites where you can check out what they mean. So for the cards, we have 4 different decks. 3 of them are oracle decks, and 1 of them is tarot. So we have my tried and true tarot deck, which is the Druidcraft Tarot deck. This is my favorite and the one that I'm the best at reading for tarot, because I have other tarot decks, but that's like my baby. And then we have the Ritual deck, which is an oracle deck, which is very fun. We have Sacred Traveler and Work Your Light. So you can pick any one of those, or since your number is only one, you can pick like two. And we'll pull one from each one and we'll see what it's telling us. My dog's gonna want me to come. I'm gonna have to go get him. My favorite deck, the first one. Okay. Pick one more just so that we have two. And then I'm gonna find out the number for Remy. 8. And the last deck. Okay, that is like one of the prettiest decks I have, that's for sure. And then Remy, yours is, I believe, 3. So unless I'm doing math totally wrong, which is very possible, I am not great at math, but I believe yours is 3 if you want to look that up in the meantime. I do use an app for numerology that I love. I think I paid for it, but you can check like every person that you possibly know's numerology, and it's really cool. And it goes into your whole numerology chart, and your life path number, your motivation number. It lets you know if your numbers are in harmonious together or if they're at odds with each other, which is really cool, because then that kind of tells you like where you might have obstacles in your life, stuff like that. I'm gonna do something really quick and let my dog in because he's pawing at the door, and that is absolutely heartbreaking. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna pull a card. Hello, are you done barking? Yes? Okay, go relax. Okay. I have a little like pillow on top of a poof type thing under my desk to put my legs up because I hate having my legs on the ground for some reason. I was saying in the last stream I need one of those chairs where you can just put your feet all in weird positions. Okay. Did this on TikTok before, and there were so many people that wanted readings at one point that I had to just start like pulling one card for people. Yeah, I want one of those chairs. I have looked for them. I can't actually find them anywhere, and I think I did find like one, and it was super expensive. I need to learn carpentry just so I can make my own stuff. Interesting. Okay. They are so expensive. Well, eventually there will be enough of us who need them and they'll be at IKEA or something. So your first card is the 8 of Cups, which is a very interesting, it feels like, and just the first reaction I got from the 2 cards, because we have the 8 of Cups and then we have Dance with Life. And it feels like you're kind of moving on from one phase of your life, and it doesn't really feel sad. It feels like it's needed, but it still has that tinge of like, like I don't, is it okay to move on? Like, yeah. So it's telling you that it's time to like let go of anything from your past that doesn't align with who you are now. It's time to move on from all of that. You're seeking, you know, your higher self now. And it's also telling you to dance with life, to be more playful, to, you know, it doesn't have to be serious. Everything is, you know, have some fun with it. This life is supposed to be fun. Do something to change your energy, it says. Yeah, the energy that hits home, that's good, because the energy of it is not negative. It's not like, oh, you need to move on from this, girl. It's like you know, you're ready. You're ready, and it's telling you, you know you're ready. You know it's time, and it's going to be good. I'm just going to preemptively take the rest of the cards out of their boxes. Do you have any like follow-up questions that you want to ask? I know that for me, I've been quite like well, I've been at a crossroads for like a couple years. All about your marriage? Okay. Let's see. Are you feeling really ignored? Feels because you got 5 of Cups, which is a very like, we're getting a lot of Cups energy, but we're getting the Cups energy that's like a little bit sad, like in a not sure how to feel. The 5 of Cups is a sense of loss and unnoticed opportunity, fear of desertion. But it's also about shifting your focus from your losses to the gifts that are in your life. And okay, I need to pull another card on it. Get rid of these. It's maybe just, yeah, a lack of connection, disconnection. Yeah, then you got take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. Yeah, I think it's... You're not getting anything that's concrete that's like, no, it's over. You're not getting anything like that, but you are getting that, yes, it is... Things are not feeling right, but you just take your time with it and do what feels right. Focus on what feels right for you. Sometimes when our connections with other people drift and aren't as strong as they used to be, sometimes what we really need is to connect more to ourselves. And as we connect to ourselves, we start to realize what it is that we need. And if we encourage them to do the same and they actually do it, then a lot of times you'll find yourself right back to the beginning where everything feels like it did when you were originally together, because sometimes in relationships you lose yourself, you know, and you stop focusing on you and what you want. But other times you end up doing that and you find out that you've drifted, and you have to decide from there where to go. Do you continue or do you move on? So I think the best thing is always to focus on yourself at that point, and make sure that things are feeling right for you. I'm going to pull one more. You got unknown territory. You are exactly where you need to be. So at this point, this is either going to propel you into a new path that's more aligned with who you are as a person, and that path will or won't contain that person that you're with. It's one of those things where you're not really sure if you're on the same frequency, you know? And either you continue, and I'm just going to take one of these out. You continue and things become, you know, that you learn from each other. That person works on themselves, you work on yourself, and you find yourselves aligning back in the same path. I'm probably just reiterating everything I was saying, but like, and then other times they want to stay at this lower frequency and you're trying to work up to this higher frequency, and they're like, where are you going? And you're like, well, this feels right for me, and they're like, well, that's too, I don't want to go there. And then it splits. So I think it's time will tell. And as we continue on our journeys, you know, that this is how life is for everything. Whether it's a relationship or work or whatever, we are continuously working on elevating ourselves, if you are a person who does that, because then there are also people who don't want to. It's too much. You know, it's too much to work on myself. It's too much to do all that stuff. Like because they haven't had somebody show them that it can be, like what it can be, like how good it can be. Fear is a powerful driving force. If you want more, if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. But for now, I'm going to move on to Remy and see what Remy would like. So Remy, what card decks feel right for you? We have the tarot deck. We have the ritual deck. We have the Sacred Traveler deck. Ritual deck, okay. I'm gonna pull one of my affirmation cards for you. We got, I welcome change into my life. It helps me grow. Okay, well, that's what it says. And tarot, okay. I like about doing readings and on stream and like in general is that it gives people who are watching it, like even if it's not you, like I think that we're all here at the right time at the right place, and that this kind of, there will always be a message for you, even if the messages weren't specifically made. Like even if like this isn't your reading, but it might be, there might be a message in there that you needed to hear. Okay. I love the ritual deck. It's so, there's so many different parts to it. Like it has all the chakras, it has the elements, it has crystals, candles, colors, directions, so many different aspects to it that at first I was like, what is this when I first got it? And then I was like, oh, this is brilliant. You know, like it makes actually a lot of sense. I didn't realize I didn't put my light on. There we go. Didn't make much of a difference. Oh, we have some very positive cards. Okay, so we'll start with, I'm going to pull out the book of this one because I don't want to miss anything. So in the ritual deck we have the element spirit, which is all the directions and connects to the universe. It's like we, as you know, oneness, wholeness. You have the seed of life, miracle, oneness, potential, connecting to your is that your sacral or is that your solar plexus? I need to get better at it. It is sacral. I knew it. I knew it. And then you have abalone for ritual awareness and balance, which connects to the crown chakra, the third eye, and the throat. So let's go into a little bit about what those are. So for spirit, it says, my higher self is changeless and one with the universe. When was the last time that you allowed yourself to slow down and connect with the divine? Beckoning you to connect. You have abalone? Yes. Let's get that seed of life. Where's the sacred geometry? Here we are. A seed of potential lies within me. New beginnings are always available to you. Seeds are continually being planted within you. Which ones will you allow to blossom? It feels like you're at this point where like pretty much everything, whatever you wanted to do, you could do. That's where you're at. That's kind of where I'm at. Maybe that's why we connected so much on the last stream. Need to clean the altar. Abalone, I find balance through ritual. Yeah, it's definitely beckoning you to go back to ritual. The abalone shell bears a rich history of ritual, often used as a physical representation of the water element and as a vessel for burning herbs. I have one right here. No. I also have a really weird thing where every time I go, well, it's this one specific beach. It just happens to have a lot of abalone, but I always can find it. I'm like an abalone finder. Yeah, basically everything is open to you right now. That's essentially the message we're getting. Like, if you want a choice, it's there. The direction is open. You have the Ace of Pentacles, which is very auspicious um, for financial rewards. It's also like aces are very much about like new beginnings. We have rebirth, and then we have the Hermit being the stillness. Oh my god, it's so on point. Hold on. Let me see if there's any other messages that I am not picking up in the details. I'm a very general thinker, so a lot of times when I do readings, I do that. So I like the books to just feel like, is there any other added things I'm missing? Here we are. Turn away from the distractions of the outer world and seek guidance. In silence and solitude, discover new depths and refresh your soul at the source of all life. Yeah. Begging you to connect. Begging. I think your guides have some things they want to tell you about what path they want you to go down, or what path would be most beneficial, at least. We have Ace of Pentacles, financial gain, material benefits, deep peace. Yeah, I'll keep the VODs up on Twitch, and then I'm also going to put them on YouTube eventually so you can be able to rewatch them. Rebirth is pretty self-explanatory, but so good. If either of you have any follow-up questions, let me know, because we're just chilling. We're just chilling pulling cards at this point. But that was fantastic. Was my foot already asleep? I'm gonna pull one for myself really quick. Oh, okay. All of these fell out. Let's see what they say. About health. Okay, I'll look at that. Okay, I just was like, oh, I'm gonna pull a card for myself, and 4 cards came out. I got stepping into power, you're strong beyond measure. Surrendering to the journey, release control. Taking shelter, the answers are within. And transformation, a fresh new way of living emerges. That's what I'm hoping to do with streaming. So, okay, health. Let's see. Let's do tarot for that. I'm not sure what you're going through health-wise, but all the cards you're getting are very positive and light. Everything's very light. You got rebirth again. The rebirth is an exclamation point. I think we're all kind of going through a cycle that feels like something's ending and becoming anew, but I feel like I've been in that cycle for, like I was saying, like a couple years almost. It feels like since the beginning of the pandemic, at least. Then we have the Six of Wands. Victory, success, fame, leadership. Taking on a leadership role. Harmony. The ability to inspire others. So yeah, whatever might be coming up about health, if you are having health issues, it feels like here's an opportunity to follow your dreams, the beginning of a project, good news, a sensitive, loving, and imaginative young person. It feels like things are going to get better. Things are going to be good. My stomach has been in knots all day today. All day. And it still is. So I'm hoping that goes away. Kind of just bearing through it. You've been doing some trainings. Yeah. The cards are in your favor. I feel like a lot of organ massage. That's interesting. I should look into that. You know, I've always said that if I got rich, the one thing, like really excessive thing, other than having like crystal bathtubs and crystal everything, would be to have just a masseuse at all times. I just want a masseuse. I want somebody who's like really good at, because I feel like your body is, I feel like my body's always messed up. I feel like it's so easy for it to get messed up, and that, you know, if I'm trying to stretch more, because I used to be really flexible and I used to stretch a lot, and I haven't been doing so in the past couple of years, and so I feel bleh. So I'm not gonna lie, an organ massage actually sounds pretty bomb. If somebody wants to, well, no, I should figure out how to do it. It'd be kind of weird. Have somebody else do it. Although people do that at one of the local places where they do massages. They do like digestion massages and stuff like that. Your boyfriend is thinking of training in massage? Definitely. Be like, oh yeah, you can practice on me. That'd be so good. The dogs are chilling now. Oh yeah, send me links. That'd be cool. I definitely need to get more into yoga. You know, I got, personally, I stressed myself out. Oh, no problem. You're welcome. I know that for me, like, I developed an ulcer from being so stressed out and drinking coffee all the time. And now I can't drink coffee. I can't eat most of the stuff I want to eat. It's so crazy how we don't realize what we're doing to our bodies. And I would say that the majority of mine was from stress. And that was all me. You know, I was doing it. Most of the time it wasn't other people stressing me out. It was me. And the mind is a really powerful thing. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't drink coffee anymore, which is actually kind of cool. Although sometimes I miss it. And, I don't know, my stomach's still pretty messed up half the time, but like that. Yeah. I don't really drink alcohol anyway. I don't find it fun anymore. I never liked the taste of it, that's for sure. Now I got Get Grounded, Share Your Voice, which is a card I've been getting for a long time. I'm always, and The Ever Unfolding Rose. Life is happening for you, not to you. You worked in a bar too long. It's so crazy acceptable for people to just drink all the time, and I understand it, but it's not for me. I've been spending the past 2 years since the pandemic started. I've been spending all of it trying to reconnect to myself, and in doing that I now see a shaman at least once a month for both talk therapy and energy healing. I've been working on just connecting to myself. I went and did a Reiki course to learn how to do Reiki. I spend a lot more time connecting spiritually than I ever have before, and I still feel like I don't, because I don't meditate every day like I want to, and I don't do yoga like I want to. Obviously I don't want to enough, because otherwise I'd be doing it, but those are goals that I have. How long, so did you grow up in Ireland, or like when did you move to the States? Because I'm assuming you live here. Acupuncture is good too. I haven't had acupuncture in a while. When you were 19. That's such a crazy... Was it like a crazy difference to go from Ireland to the United States? Because it seems like there's a lot there that's similar, but it's also such a small country that I know that there's a lot of stuff that's very niche there. One of my favorite streamers. Oh, you were visiting your dad and you ended up staying. One of my favorite streamers is Call Me Kevin, and he's from Cork. And so he always does like various Irish type streams, and I learn more about Ireland from that. And he was showing some of like the Irish dating games and stuff, and it was hilarious. Okay, so you're pretty used to America because you visited a lot. Kark. My favorite is if you ever want to like a dose of Irish people, is watching him play with the other Irish lads like Jacksepticeye and RT and Terrorizer and Dottie, and it's just so funny listening to them all like mess with each other in the games and make all these Irish references and stuff. Especially since like half of them don't even live there anymore, but it's adorable. I love Irish people. Irish people are so good. I also love when they were talking about how there's like certain parts of Ireland where even other Irish people can't understand the accents of other Irish people, which is hilarious to me. One of the best ones was when they were doing like Irish GeoGuessr, which is like a game where you're put at a random place in Google Maps and you have to figure out where you are on the map. And when you do it in Ireland, everything is so green that you just don't even know where you are. I pulled another card and it's the transformation again. A fresh new way of living emerges. I started watching Dairy Girls. I haven't finished it. I don't remember why. There's a lot of like shows that when they start off, if they're really popular, I kind of just like, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll watch it later when it dies down a bit. Like, I didn't see Harry Potter until I think the 7th one came out, the sixth or 7th one. And then my mom was like, I want to see it for my birthday. And I'm like, okay. But I need to watch all of them, and I had like a whole weekend marathon of it. Okay, I got Warrior Woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? I'm working on it. And then we got Share Your Voice. Again, I am sharing it with you right now. And then we have Align Your Life. What is not aligned or needs to change? Right now my stomach is not aligned and needs to change. The other thing that I'm planning to be doing at some point is, because I started it a little bit, but I haven't dove into it, is more like ASMR stuff. I have like a YouTube that I'm starting with that. So I can do Reiki and different stuff on there for ASMR. So that should be fun. I'm excited to do more with that. I don't know that deck. Mother Peace deck? It's like where's my phone? In the pouch. Oh, it's one of the circular ones. Those are super cool. Yeah, I think it would be fun to to do that and do some Reiki with it, some meditation type stuff, and yeah. There's a few round decks that I've seen. I haven't seen that one until now. There's one that looks like the back of it looks like a diamond. I'm not really sure what that one is either. Eight of Cups is my favorite. It's an octopus holding ceramics in each tentacle. That's so fun. That's so cool. People, my goal at some point in the future is to create my own tarot deck. I feel like it would be so cool. But I also love oracle decks, and so really I would probably make those first before I would actually dive into making a tarot deck specifically. I made the this little affirmation deck, and I just did it with like the best way that I knew how, because I didn't have a whole lot of money to like start up and get it made, to like put it in cute sleeves and all that stuff. So I just did it's really just the cards, and I have them in cute little pouches that I send them in. But that's my goal, is to eventually make cool oracle decks and tarot decks and stuff like that. The back of these is almost like a coin. Ooh, a ceramic chessboard would be cool. There's so many cool things you can do with ceramics. Of course, I'm a sucker in any ceramics that has like moons on it. I'm like, oh my god, I need that. I also love that the Rider-Waite tarot deck is like public domain now, so people use it for like everything, and I see people using it on tarot, like, or on ceramics, like for cups and stuff like that. It's so cute. Lots of moon and mushroom things. Mushroom things are the best too. I know it feels almost generic, especially when you see it all the time, but it's like, I just want to be a little witch in a cottage, you know? Surrounded by moons and mushrooms. I don't know if you remember this, but like, remember when we were growing up and everything was about fairies for a minute? There was a whole like fairy phase. That was cute. Nice. It's crazy how resilient mushrooms are in growing too. Like, I got one of those mushroom growing kits, and that was surprisingly easy. The fairy books are so cool. Oh, just like that whole, even just like the Amy Brown phase where everything was Amy Brown fairies. I don't even know how that happened. It's pop culture is so crazy. Like, how does that stuff work? Where it's just like, so essentially, right? I could come up with some really cool item made of fairies and get it picked up by Hot Topic. And then it would become an integral part of, like, say it was like really popular, right? Then it could become an integral part of some kid's life growing up by the fact that it was like Tragic Glimmer Fairies. Life is so weird. Oh yeah, kits. Imagery is super important. It is really insane how much imagery, you know, like one of the things I was doing for streaming, right, is I was trying to figure out how do I want my streams to look. So I came up with this for my healing stream, and then we'll just go through them. I'll show you. Then this one for the art stream, which you saw, where it kind of mixes like my Y2K and witchy stuff that I like. And then for gaming, I have this. And in that big empty space over there is where the game will go. So you won't even really see most of the background. But I was battling with myself on, can I even use this background that I made? Because it has imagery that's not technically mine. Like I made this, that's mine. I can use that. I know that. But it is kind of crazy how imagery is so important. And this type of imagery is my whole childhood. And that's what I wanted to emulate with it. And I was trying to like, oh, well, let's do the, AIM thing. And let's do, I just wanted to show like, I wanted to transport you back to a certain time. And it's hard to do that when you can't use that imagery. And I think it's the same when it comes to things like songs and stuff. And then they have like DMCA, and it's like you can't play the songs because especially if you make money off of it and stuff. And it's like there's got to be some way to do this to where it's, to where it's sharing and not profiting. I don't know. You were having tarot and astrology and witchcraft thrown my way by my mother, and I felt at the time like I was brushing it off, and now I'm here looking around my life and I'm like, oh, I have to come to things on my own terms, so it took longer. Yeah. You see so many streamers with pictures of celebrities. Well, that makes me feel better. But yeah, I mean, that's so interesting. I wonder what it would have been like if my parents were in any of this stuff, because I definitely came to it on my own. And I remember I have this vivid memory of when I was a kid, and I used to, we used to play this game, me and my cousins, where we would make forts, and then we would have our own little shops or something. And like one of my cousins would do massages. She'd be a masseuse. And then my other cousin, I don't remember what he did. And then I wanted to be a fortune teller. And so I like set up this whole thing. And then I remember my grandma was like, oh honey, we don't believe in that. That's the devil. And I was like, oh God. Okay. And that prevented me from really looking into it until I was like 18. And then even at that point, I wasn't really ready. So it took until I was about 23 and I had a really bad breakup that I was like, okay, I'm gonna look into this stuff and actually dive into it. And I did, and it was the best thing I ever did. It's that grandma specifically right now is has gotten Alzheimer's, and I love her. She's a lovely person, but my family on that side is very Christian and has those very specific views. And so I grew up feeling very like there's one way of being. And luckily, my mom was more of the rebel of the family. And even though that came with its own things, because my mom was a drug addict for many years until she, well, I mean, she's still recovering from that because you are always a recovering drug addict, but she's much better now than she was then. And so that had all of its own challenges, right? But because of her doing that, it gave me the freedom to explore more. And it's crazy how much that stuff prevents you from really looking at anything else, you know? It's always good to, even just a little bit at least. Like, I really think in school they should do a little bit more to teach about what each religion is. Just so that you can actually hear it from a more biased or like a more like outside point of view. Like, directly, this is what they are. This is what they believe. And that's it. So you at least know. Because I think there's a lot of kids who grow up within certain religions, whether it's Christianity or anything else, that don't hear about it. They have no clue. And they just assume because of whatever they were told. Or fear, you know. Your parents are both the weird ones of their siblings. It's nice to, in a way, it's nice to grow up with the weird one, you know? I mean, there was a part of me that was always just like a little bit embarrassed and a little bit like, Mom, come on. But like, for the most part, it was better. It was better that way. The artists. I like being the artist of the family, even though like I've had to work through a lot this past year about my limiting beliefs around being an artist, and it's a doozy, dude. It's a lot. Hold on, let me readjust. Let's talk about it. I want to sit weird in this chair. Can I do it? Barely. This chair is not weird enough for me, dude. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I shouldn't say dude. I'm used to saying it. I'm from California. Okay. I turned the cedar out. I'll be like the fun teacher. Okay. I don't remember what I was going to talk about now. Oh yeah, my limiting beliefs about being an artist. It's I think it's because I grew up in a family that specifically and it's weird because I even have like a little bit of hesitation of like, should I share this online? Should I share this with people? But no, it's good. It's good to share. My family grew up having a family company, and in that company they in that family everything was about the family company, you know, and the company was created by my great-grandfather and then passed down to my grandfather and then to my uncle. And so in my family, like, he's good, he's set, his family's set, his kids are set, whatever. But and the rest of the family kind of ended up relying on the family company by being either employed by it or benefiting from it in some way. And for me, it was always like, okay, well, do your own thing. I'm not going to do that, you know? And I wanted to create art. And then for years, my grandfather was like, well, what all the age-old stuff that doesn't make money. You need to make benefits. Like, why don't you go work for a company and you can make stuff on the side? Like, all of that, to where you start to eventually believe that you can't make money as an artist because of the starving artist mentality of society. And it's harder too when there's so many people out there who are like trying to get you to charge less for your art because they don't want to pay for it. And yet that's part of the reason that people are struggling to make money, you know? Yeah. It's so hard to then deconstruct that mentality after you've been told it for so many years, to then realize, like, you know what, I am worth something. Like, my art, my skills, I have so many skills that if it were the Renaissance, man, I'd be fucking rich. But it's a process. It's a process of learning your worth in all of this, especially in a capitalistic society that has been geared to focus on buying things for cheap that are all mass produced. And I think that I can see it slowly happening, but I really do think that we're moving a little bit more into a direction of sustainability, and I don't think it will fully take hold until like we're adults, like 50s and 60s. But you're a true creative and serious about it. Thank you so much. It's I've been doing it my whole life. When I was a little bit about me. When I was in high school, it was sophomore year and I wasn't doing well in school, and I was always a visual learner, and they were always like, here's a book, read it. And I was like, I don't really retain a lot of information from reading very well. So I ended up finding out about a independent study school and going to there, and went from D's and F's to A's and B's, and maybe like a C, but it was mostly A's and B's. And I ended up graduating like a semester early from high school because I worked so hard, and it gave me all this free time from my sophomore to senior year to do other stuff. So I took like makeup courses and learned how to do professional makeup, and I did that's what got me into learning about photography, and I started making my own clothes for a clothing line. Eventually I went to college at FITM for graphic design, and did that for a couple years, and did freelance graphic design for people on like MySpace and stuff, and eventually like websites and other stuff, clothing designs and whatnot. And as I continued to do my clothing line, I started to realize I wasn't really a big fan of the sewing aspect of it. So I decided I was thinking about it a lot, and I was like, I think my favorite part is the photo shoots. So I was like, okay, well, I'll focus on photo shoots. And so it was about 2015, I think, that I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on my photography career now. And I did that. And I did that until 2020. And it went pretty well. and I really enjoy photography. I can't wait to really do more with it. But the pandemic was also nice in the way that it gave us time to think, right? And for me, so I'm high risk. I have asthma. I can't really like go back to normal like a lot of people are. So um, I don't really want to take the risk of having like the long-term side effects. You thought you were going to go to fashion school but did sculpture. That's amazing. You know what's funny too is I went to FIDM, the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising, with the intent of going for fashion design. And they looked at my portfolio and said, I think you'd be really good at graphic design because you learn how to brand your own business and all this stuff like that. And if, you know, basically they said to me at a fashion school, well, if it doesn't really work out in fashion design, you might end up just doing textile design for the rest of your life. And I was like, I'll do graphic design then. Because with graphic design anyway, I can make my own patterns. I could learn. There's so much stuff where I learned how to do it already. You don't really need to go to school for fashion design, that's for sure. It's good to learn the history of it. It's good to learn specifically how to do certain pattern making and sewing. But it is also all stuff you can learn online now. Yeah, you have to make your own blueprint of life. And it's weird because, so like I said, I focused on photography. It was about 2017 that I was starting to feel a little stale with the photography. And I was looking for something to inspire me. So with my photography for many years, I focused on photographing tattooed people. And I was in a lot of tattooed magazines. And that was really fun. And I really enjoy the alternative community, and I really enjoy all the people that I met. I got to be on some covers of magazines and all of that. It was super cool. But eventually that whole community just started to die down. I really think it was because, personally, I think it was because Inked magazine went and bought out a bunch of other tattoo magazines, and went and bought out a bunch of other tattoo magazines, and then made it like almost impossible for you to get published again. And so for a lot of people, they were like, all right, well, I'm done then. Your friend did sculpture and ended up in textile design. I love life, you know? It's so crazy how like you go from one thing and think that you're gonna do that forever, and then you don't at all. And your 16-year-old sister wants to go to school for animation, and I'm like, no, girl. Yeah, so there's a lot of life is just full of changes, you know? You end up thinking you're going to do something for a long time, and you end up changing a couple years later, and that's kind of just how it goes. And so for me, for photography, yeah, so like in 2017, I was getting kind of stale with like what I was doing, and started watching Drag Race and got super into drag. And then I was like, I want to do drag, but I don't think I can do drag. But then one of my best friends is actually a female drag queen, and she's like, yeah, you can. What are you talking about? So she helped encourage me to do it. And so then I started doing drag. And that was a really wonderful outlet for me to start connecting to myself again, because I definitely had lost myself in like past relationships and in work I was doing, and it helped me connect to this inner part of me that always wanted to be like a pop star or an actor or something like that. And I got to be that when I was in drag, and that's so wonderful and important to me. And but then when 2020 started and all of this happened, everything kind of just halted, right? And things were going well, But I was getting signs from my guides in October of 2019 to slow down. And I was getting out of my car one night to walk in the house, and I fell out of my car, of all the places to fall, fell on my pinky and broke it, and then tried to shove it back into place by myself. I think I ended up breaking it more. And anyway, still have my pinky is still pretty messed up looking. But it healed. And I was like, you know what? For months before that happened, I kept getting slugs coming into my kitchen at night. And I am the type of person where if I randomly see a bug or an animal and it's unusual, I'll look it up and see what it means. And the slugs mean to slow down, right? And I was like, well, what does it really mean? I don't really know. Slow down at what? And then the finger thing happened, and I was like, okay, I need to slow down. And then the pandemic happened, and I was like, oh, okay, we all need to slow down. It's not just me. And I just didn't realize how fast-paced I was used to living life. I was so stuck in this like mentality that I had to be working 24/7 in order to make it at all. And it's just not the case. You know, it's not the case to do that. We're not supposed to be working all the time. Things are not really where I want them to be right now, but I bet there's a lot of slugs in Ireland. It's always raining. They're like, yes. I live in California, so I was actually really surprised that there were so many slugs that just happened to come into my kitchen every night. I haven't seen them since in like 2 years, and they were here every night. They would be gone by the morning and then come back at night. I don't know how that works. Eventually, I just let them come in and out because I realized they would leave in the morning. So I didn't even bother to like pick them up and take them outside. I just let them do their thing. But yeah, so I think it was really just trying to get me to pay attention to the fact that I was constantly moving, and I had this mindset that if I wasn't constantly moving, then I wasn't working hard enough. And big black slugs. That actually sounds super cool. I really want to go to Ireland. Really want to go to Ireland. So throughout the last year or so, I've been working on my healing. I've been in July of 2020, I decided to open an Etsy shop since I couldn't do my photography because I can't really be around people. I'm trying to start doing some photography again, and just do like some one-on-ones and do a little bit less, because I am still a little afraid of getting the COVID. I don't want it. I don't want the long-lasting results. I believe it will happen too. I will go to Ireland. I'll meet a nice Irish person and fall in love and live in Ireland. That's the dream. My little druid heart feels it. But so then I opened a shop in 2020 to sell things that I made, and I learned how to like make a bunch of stuff. I learned how to work with resin. I learned how to make electroform jewelry. I learned how to make miniatures and do that. I've just, anything that interests me creatively, I've been doing, and that's really helped fill the gap of like missing photography, is being able to work on small stuff like that. And by the way, if anyone new comes in, I am doing tarot readings, so if you would like one, just hop into the chat and talk to me and let me know. Right now I'm just talking about my life. But it's, God, my ADHD is the worst. Perimeters can be beautiful. It creates focus on what works well for just you. Yeah. It's been really nice over the last year or two to just create freely, just whatever. And trying to figure out who I am within it, you know, what my style is, who I've become. Because I've done that, literally, I have done this exact process so many times in the past. Who I am, who am I, what do I want to present, this and that. But it constantly changes as life changes. It's not always what it was before, you know. It's not like you figure it out and that's how it is forever. It's an ever evolving thing. And for the past like at least 6 months, if not a year, I felt called to start streaming, and my nerves with it are so bad that I was like, oh, I'm gonna start it soon. I'll start it soon, and then just put it off. And I think it's just the fear of really talking to myself for no and having people like not watch it. But honestly, if they don't, they don't. That's how it goes, right? And for me at this point, it's creating for the sake of creating and sharing for the sake of sharing, and just having fun with it. I know that on this platform specifically, on Twitch, that gaming does the best, right? It's a gaming platform for the most part. And I think Twitch will actually give me permission to lean into more grounding talents. I also do flower arranging. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Oh, you know, the thing I love about creativity is how open it is. It's just so open. You can do so much with it. That's what I love about photography. There's so much you can do with it. And so people, and there will always be people who will say, oh, that's not a sustainable career. We have cameras on our phones now. We have this, we have that. You can go buy a pot at any place. It's like, okay, but no. Because there's also people with specific styles that not everyone can replicate. That's part of the reason that I was like, I really do want to create a shop and make cool stuff that I don't see other places, or make my own version of cool stuff, you know? And I think that's what's so great about creating in general, is being able to work on that. Being able to build your skills, being able to build who you are as a person, and really figure out who you are and be able to share that. So the point is sharing, and not necessarily having everybody be there to see it. Eventually, I believe that you attract the people that you are supposed to have around you. And if anything, the last stream where you found me and a couple other girls found me, it was like, what? We're all around the same age and we're all into the same stuff, and you just happened to find me, and I was making jewelry on stream. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I believe that the right people will find you when they're supposed to find you. I think, you know, it's unrealistic to be like, oh, I just started streaming. This is my second stream. I just started streaming. I'm going to have 50 people in my chat. 50 people watching me. 100 of people watching me. Like, unrealistic. But possible. I think that my next stream is probably going to be more people, because I'll be playing The Sims, and there is a nice community of simmers who I think will randomly find me and be interested, but I like to share all different sides of me because eventually, you know, it builds. And the point of me doing tarot readings on here or Reiki is that I want to help other people, because not everyone has access to a shaman or a therapist or even just a comforting person to hang out with, to do this stuff with. And I want to be able to be that for someone. I know that I like that when I find people like on YouTube where I found a couple people who do ASMR, and they do it like Reiki stuff, and they do it more in the style that feels comfortable to me, and just how comforting that feels. Because there's a lot of people out there that do the same stuff, but not every person is for every other person. And I don't think I am for mainstream society, but I'm happy about that. Mainstream people are weird. Mini empire forming. I really feel that. But I've always felt that. I've always been this person who was like, I'm going to be a CEO. I'm going to be a boss. And it's like, now I don't want that. I don't want to be a CEO. But like maybe of my own art world, you know? Or my own stream. Oh, thank you for calling me polished. I think that, yeah, I think it really is just at this point pushing it out there, pushing my stuff out there. What I'm gonna do is for these streams, I'm gonna just put them on YouTube as is, in case people want to watch, like rewatch the streams. And then I'm gonna work on building up the ASMR channel too. But I have very little patience for making extended videos and editing them. It really bugs me. I hate video editing. I can do it, I just don't like doing it. And I see all these people who have like, I mean, I watch them. I watch all these YouTube channels and stuff, but I'm like, I don't want to. I don't think mainstream Americans know how weird they are. I agree. You know, it's weird because I am so disconnected from mainstream that I think I am connected to it. And then when I actually meet people who are like really connected to it, I realize we're not at all the same people. It's completely different universes. Like I'll think that I'm really plugged in and connected, and then I realize like, nope. I think that one of the biggest places that showed me that was actually TikTok, where people show how, because I'm more on like queer TikTok, where it's a lot of, you know, drag and liberals and progressive views and artists and small businesses, and that's like what my TikTok is filled with. And to then see, some people did like videos where they were showing the contrast between what's on gay TikTok, and like what's on straight TikTok. So it'd be like basically niche versus mainstream. And it was crazy how there are so many things on mainstream TikTok that I don't see or hear. Like they'll have completely different songs, completely different trends. And I'm just like, what? What is this? And it's super cringe. But aren't we all cringe? I'm cringe all the time. Yeah, get into editing so I can get some kind of tutorial video from the stream. Yeah, I will say that video editing just takes a lot of patience. And I don't have a whole lot of patience. Because it's like, I've definitely done it. I've done it many times. I had the privilege last year. It was very strenuous. because we were doing it every day. But I had the privilege of working on a Black History Month video series with my friend who runs a school. And it's called 28 Days of Color. And if you want to go check it out for whoever is watching in the future or now, it's on the Steam Engine Academy YouTube channel. And you can just put in like 28 Days of Color in YouTube and you can find it. And it was so fun because it was putting together videos that were kid friendly, where you could teach a little bit about Black history. And my friend Lauren put it together. She's the person who runs the school, and she's Black, and she was like, I want to put this together. And I was like, well, I'll help you, you know. And it came out really fantastic. And what I loved about it was how much I got to learn from doing it, because there are genuinely so many things that our school system does not teach us, and I still don't think is teaching kids, especially about Black history. And I mean, they're arguing about it. They're arguing about it politically already, you know, critical race theory and stuff like that. You have normie American relatives. I have normie American relatives too. I think that it'll be really interesting to see how this journey goes, because at some point I'm going to see my family more again, you know, because I don't really see them much now because of the pandemic. But I do, we've been taking care of my grandma a lot because she has Alzheimer's and she's not doing too well. So we've been kind of congregating for that, which has been good. But it'll be weird to eventually be like, oh yeah, I'm a streamer. And I just know they're going to be like, what? What? They have no idea. They have no idea that there are people who make like millions of dollars doing this. Crazy. The possibilities are endless. The possibilities of the world are endless. And that's what I've been trying to open myself up to, because I definitely will get myself caught up into a mentality of like things being limited. But things are not limited. Yeah, color and cosplay is a good one. There's a lot of good ones. And it's nice. The format is like talking a little bit about Black history, and then talking like about a specific Black history like event or person. And then it also will go into an interview with somebody that pertains to the theme, and then it goes into a kid story that is based around Black culture, which is fantastic. And it just, I've been trying to share it as much as I can this month to people, because I don't know how many people have watched it that I know or whatever, but I want people, you know, it's a good place to learn. It's easy to watch. Your brother plays games and told me about Twitch in September. Twitch has been around for a while, and yet there's so many people who don't know about it, and it almost feels nice that way. But it's kind of like how TikTok was like that, you know? TikTok, when I first started TikTok, it was like, oh, what? You're on that? Isn't that for kids? And then it became the biggest app ever. But I think Twitch is really cool because you are able to build a community around whatever you want to put out there. You're able to genuinely put yourself out there. He was like, I'll moderate your channel. I want 20%. Do moderators make money? I need to learn about that. TikTok is cool. TikTok is a time waster, but it also is kind of fun because there's, I don't know, I end up having a lot of animal videos. Basically, whatever you interact with is what you get on your For You page. So once you get past downloading it and get past the mainstream TikTok that they're going to show you, and you start interacting with things, then you get whatever you interact with. And so a lot of mine is drag, small businesses, animals, and like makeup. I don't think so. I think it's trying to scam me. I mean, but any sibling would, right? I am interested, like, the more I go with this, because like I was telling you before, we were Instagramming, and I was like, I'm trying to create like a good foundation with all this stuff to at least start off with, because I know things are going to change. I know I'll see how things go. I'll see what people gravitate towards. I'll work with that. But I wanted to at least create a good foundation to figure out how to have music on stream and have it not get copyright taken. So I had to sign up for a place where I could play music on stream that was not going to get copyright infringed, and because I have the right to use it, stuff like that, or making my setups, which a lot of people don't even do. They just have their face on there, which is cool too. I was like, maybe I should do that because that's what people do. I don't know. I was trying to be different. People tell me there's a great pottery videos and people will show me and it's useful, but pottery is more real in a long format. That's so true. I mean, and that's true for a lot of things. And I think that's why I've started watching more streams, because YouTube wise, it's fun. And sometimes I have like a really short attention span and just want to like watch a short video. But most of the time, I'm creating something or doing something, and I just want to have a long format something going on to like hang out with the person. So like most of the time it'll be like Kitboga, or I'll have some sort of stream on. Or if I'm really not feeling anything, then I'll be like, well, maybe I'll put on a TV show series or a movie, you know. But lately it's been the Olympics because I'm watching the Olympics. And I want to watch Shaun White. And Chloe Kim. And the figure skating. That's all good too. But this Olympics is definitely, like, I'm not seeing, I don't know if it's because it's in China and there's all the issues with China, or if it's because people aren't as into the Winter Olympics as they are the Summer Olympics, but I feel like not a lot of people are really watching it this year. Co-work streams. Oh yeah. Is that where like you are working and then other people like work with you, so it's like you're working together? I love that. I was constantly, you know, even right now I'm just kind of talking about things, and I'll be like, oh well, this isn't really entertaining, who's gonna want to watch this? But there are people that do. Somebody will watch this and want to like get to know me or hear what I have to say. I never got into it. Yeah. I think that you have to like the person to get into it. Like, cause I can't just start watching somebody stream and immediately like them. It's not usually gonna happen, you know? Unless there's just something about them that instantly clicks with me. It takes a while for me to be like, oh yeah, I want to hang out with you. You work for an hour and a half and then take a 15-minute chat break and then back to work. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know. I feel like that's essentially what I'm doing. Or at least that's what I was doing on Tuesday when I was making jewelry, which I still haven't finished. I ended up making a couple smaller pieces too, because I want to make more dainty pieces. And so I did like a second coat of painting on them, and then I'm gonna do I have to put the latex on, and then I can put them in the acid bath, the electro bath. I follow a fashion design student. She has a to-do list on screen. I'd like a day like that. I'd do a day like that for pottery. That's actually really smart, because then people feel like they're accomplishing it with you. That's pretty smart. I don't always have a to-do list. I mean, I think that the way that my stream was on Tuesday, where I'm just like figuring it out, that is so how I create. And that's kind of what I have planned for any of my art streams in the future. It's really just like picking a thing I want to make that week, and then just bringing all the supplies over here to do it. I'm not sure what the next one's gonna be. It's either gonna be, well, I want to finish the pieces I made, so I'll do that, or at least I'll be working on that, so hopefully I can have more of them, you know, more of the, I'll be working on getting them electroformed so I can finish them off and show them off on the next art stream. Hopefully that's my goal. I'm not sure if that's enough time, but I can at least have some pieces done by then. But the next stream I'll probably focus more on either like making sun catchers or other jewelry, or making miniatures. Maybe. Or maybe painting something. That would be fun. You know, I usually start with something vague and freeform, but I need to practice some discipline too. Yeah. That's like, honestly, the discipline aspect of it is for me, because I do need that too. At least according to my human design, I would do better with all of that. But part of me having this stream schedule, even just having a stream schedule, is structure for me at this point. So the miniatures, do you want me to show you? I'll show you. I've made a couple different versions of it, but I have one that I had to keep for myself because I loved it too much. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say like that anymore. So here's one I made. This little box, so it's meant to be functional, like to have, be able to put stuff in there. And then on the top, okay, or to fall out, that's fine too. And then on the top, like this one is a little tarot set. And then this is like a little, I need to move my face out of it, I think. Don't look at me. Don't look at me, camera. Look at the miniatures. But yeah, you can kind of get an idea of it. So I make like little books. They open, they flip the pages. And little candles. We have some crystal mushrooms. This is like a little shell that looks like you're burning something. The little posters, little mortar and pestle. And then I put crystals around it, of course. And then up here, like more books, a little tarot spread. I should have this over here. It goes with the decor. But so this is one of them I made because I like to make things that are functional, because when I see people, unless it's like an art piece where it's like a sculpture or something you can put on the wall, I often don't know what to do with it, right? So I try to make a lot of art that you can use in some way. So I was like, oh, well, making it like this would be better. Oh, and it has little runes up here, and like little crystal ball. So graceful. I'm graceful. It's fine. So I was thinking I could make miniatures. I already have some stuff already made, but I can show the process of making the little clay pieces because I use Epoxy Sculpt for it. Okay. And it is like making it for a dollhouse. Essentially, see, if I didn't care about making any money, I would spend all of my time making the coolest dollhouse because it would be for me. And it would be a place that would be like a Y2K witches lair where it'd be like stuff like this, but then like little, you know, blow up furniture. Stuff like that. I feel like that would be the funnest project. So that is something I've always wanted to do and will probably do at some point. But I try to spend more of my time making stuff I can put in my shop because, you know, dollhouse making journey stream. Yes, that would be good. Actually, that would be a really good like thing to do on stream. I need to find a dollhouse, like a base, because I could start with like a dollhouse from like the thrift store, or I could find one of those wooden ones from like Michael's. I think they make those. That would be a good series to do on stream for sure, for sure. That would give me a good excuse to make it too. Like, cause it would be like, oh well, it's on stream. It's on stream, so I have a reason. But yeah, I love doing it because I don't know, the pieces are just so cute. And then when you put them together, it's like your own little scene. And that's why I did it on those, because I was like, well, it's like I'm creating a scene, but it's on little drawers you can put stuff in. Yeah, I just have to look for some, like look for a dollhouse. I need to like go thrift shopping. They do make blank ones. I did see that from like Michael's or whatever, where they make like a wooden one. Maybe that would be better to start with. I don't know. I follow a few people that are working on making their own dollhouse, like miniature dollhouses. One of them is doing it to where like they're making a horror one, and that's so cool. It looks so realistic and cool. So good. So I end up, this is part of it though. I end up finding TikToks of people who do things that I don't do and then being like, I need to try that. I need to make miniatures. Your mom bought a dollhouse making magazine series, which is a weird thing I just remembered. A different balsa wood cut out every week. That's kind of cool. I think you need to do this. I think so. I love it. Yeah, I'm just going back through like the chat. You could totally use it as like accountability. I could totally use the stream as accountability. Like, I'm gonna make this, and then have people hold me to it. I want to like look up. Do you think it would be better to start with like a blank dollhouse frame, or to start with like a dollhouse that I thrift. Because I don't know. I wish I still had the dollhouse I had when I was younger. I don't think I still have it though. I haven't gone through my garage in a long time though. I think I'm gonna cut the stream kind of short tonight because my stomach is still pretty messed up. But when I do, I will be back streaming on Saturday, and maybe I'll even, no, I'll be back streaming on Saturday. Yeah, see what's available. Yeah, I think I'll look around. That would be a fun journey. You know what's cool is that maybe there's one at Craigslist. Like, open Craigslist. You know what's cool is that, yeah. So it's, I think, a good time. You're off to bed too. I think it's cool that, like I was saying, I've been nervous about these streams because it's like a new thing to do, you know? But even when there's not a lot of people watching and not a lot of activity, it's still like, there's nothing bad. The fear is all made up. It's all made up. And I'm totally one for like focusing on the whole thing. Lately, I've been reframing a lot of stuff. Like, do I want this to be my reality? Do I want to be afraid? Do I want to do this? Do I want to be stressed out right now? No, I don't. Okay, well, what can I do to change my energy? What can I do to shift to do something else that will get me out of that? So I'm not thinking about that. So that's not a thing to focus on. And I'm kind of doing that right now by like just noticing like I might not have had a lot of viewers and I might just have like one loyal person I get to talk to for the whole time, which is awesome. But like, what's so scary about it? Nothing. Nothing. Even when nobody shows up or only one person shows up, everything. It's all good. Yeah, there will be weird things. I think it'll be even weirder too when at some point there's gonna be a lot of people and I'll be like, okay, what do I do with this? But I did have that already, like I said on TikTok one time. I was doing a tarot stream on TikTok and there were so many people at one point that I just had to start pulling cards. Like they were asking questions and I was like, yes, no, yes, no. It just had to be like that. Yes, it's true. And it's so weird how my surroundings almost feel like the cave. But yeah, because I'm at home and in my element, it does feel more comfortable to where it's like, it doesn't necessarily have to be, it's not like I'm on stage or something, because I would get the same nerves when I would go on stage for drag, and it's like, but at least here I'm home and I get to be more comfortable. My mom was like, if you're really uncomfortable in that chair, why don't you just stream from your bed? And I'm like, well, because it feels weird to like, it feels very intimate, like to be on my bed. She's like, you can just chill out. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's a little comfy. Maybe it's a little too comfy. I would only want natural growth. That's for sure. And that is what feels the best, is natural growth. That was why it felt so good to have like you guys organically find me on Twitch. Like that was so cool. Because it meant more to me than even having like my closest friends show up for me, which is still, of course, means a lot. but to just have random new people find me and enjoy hanging out with me, that for some reason just really hit home. I think it's because we talked about like with being an empath and stuff and being a projector, you end up absorbing so much of other people's energy. And so I've always just start to feel fearful of saying something that's going to upset somebody, or like I have the whole people pleasing issue. And at a certain point you just have to be like, well, if I make a mistake, I make a mistake, and I will own it and work on it. And there will be people who will never forgive me, and that's just how it is. But there's also so many times where I'm not going to make mistakes. I'm just going to be living, and people are going to enjoy hanging out with me and living too. And that's the kind of stuff that you need to focus on. It's just being yourself. And this is me. Like, this whole me doing this is a huge risk for me. You know, it's like a huge, I'm putting myself out there. I think sometimes it's interesting to interact with strangers on the internet. I think you can learn a lot about yourself. And that's so true. That's so true. Even just talking to people in general, you learn so much about yourself. The other day, my mom had like a family meeting with her siblings and then came home and was talking to me, and we were having this conversation, and I was having all these triggers come up about family issues that I have. And then I started to realize like now I'm being judgmental, and now I'm having this issue, and they didn't even do anything. And so it's like the awareness in it is crazy. And you know, we're not always aware, and sometimes we need other people to point it out. And that's part of learning, and that's really the point of life, is learning and experiencing and growing and all of that. You don't think you'll tell your IG followers off the bat when you start streaming? I have been promoting it, and still only have like a couple people that I know pop in. But you know, that's something I've noticed too with the last couple years with like my shop, is that I have some friends that are super wanting to support me, that will buy from my shop, that will hype me up, that will share my stuff. And then some people who just don't, and I thought that they were closer friends, and they're still close friends, because that doesn't determine whether or not that they're still a close friend or not. They're, you know, everybody's doing their own thing. And if I just do my own thing and do it over here and stream and share it, and that's all I could need. That's all you need, because eventually I'll be doing something that's so good, like building a miniature dollhouse or having like the craziest Let's Play on The Sims, and people are going to be like, I can't miss a stream. And that's the flow of life. I was saying today, I think streaming will literally make me more present. I think so. I definitely feel, I think, more present doing this. I will also say too, this is the first time I've had a desktop computer since I was a teenager. So there's something about this that feels very reminiscent of being a kid. And that helps a lot in like reconnecting to like childhood, to like my inner child. Yeah, every friend doesn't need to be everything. And that's the other part of like stepping away from that judgment zone that we tend to find ourselves in, because we'll be like, oh, well, you didn't support me. And it's like, well, they're doing their own thing. And some people are going to support you with some things and some people don't. And, I mean, I'd love it if they all did. I could probably live off my friends alone just with the support that I could get, but that's not the path. The path is to grow. The path is to build. The path is to create. Haven't had a PC in over 10 years. Right? It's so weird having one. I kind of miss, like, I didn't realize that this PC didn't have speakers, for instance, so I had to buy speakers to go with it. And it reminds me of, for some reason, that reminded me of having one of those chunky desktops, right? That had the inserts on the side to where you could take the speakers and insert them into it. So it would be on the sides of the desktop. So good. I think I had a Dell. I think that's what it was. And then there's so many different computer brands that don't exist anymore. Like, I was reminded yesterday about Compaq. I totally forgot that was a thing. My dad used to work for Gateway back in the day. That was a thing. Ever since I was like a late teenager, like around 15, I had a laptop. So it's been a long time since I had to deal with like an actual PC state situation. But your dad built your computer? That's cool. That's super cool. That was another thing I was thinking about, like maybe I need to build my own computer. Your dad still has a Netscape email? I literally got an AOL email for stream. Like, that will be my stream email. Because I was like, I just want to have one. I don't know why. Probably because I was making, like, AIM and AOL inspired graphics. But yeah, it's been a chill stream. Thank you so much for coming. I know that you like came after work and stuff, and hell yeah, another 4 gigabytes of hard drive. You know, I had a laptop, or I have a laptop, and I was gonna start trying to stream from that. I've tried to stream from it in the past, like a year or two ago, when I was like, I'm gonna start streaming, but it was so, like, the camera, like, the game took up so much space that the camera was lagging. And it was like, this isn't gonna work for me. So, getting a PC was the better option. Yes. Thank you so much again for hanging out and for finding me. That's so cool. And I will, I'll be on Saturday playing The Sims if you want to drop by. If not, I'll see you around. Thank you again so much for coming. And just in general, thank you for watching the stream. I'll be putting these up on YouTube, but until then they'll be on the Twitch VOD for people to watch later. And yeah, I'll see you Saturday. I feel like I should have an outro, but I don't know what it is. I'll work on that. Anyway, bye. Thank you. Have a good night. Sleep tight.